Hello, it's your friend Phil, Project Management Trainer and Coach. Welcome to the short version of what is project management. Project management involves both learned and natural skills. You can learn how to manage projects. Some people are naturally gifted in the areas of project management, but you can learn project management. People use project management all over the world in different roles. Projects could be building a house, a bridge, a shopping complex, cooking dinner, almost anything that has a beginning and an end. That is the very important thing to note about project management. Projects have a definite beginning and an end, and the job of the project manager is to manage these short-term endeavors. The end of the project could be when the goal has been accomplished or when the customer says, I don't need that project anymore. Project management could be said to be a science and an art of accomplishing goals, completing tasks, successfully completing the project on time, scope, and within budget. Project management is carried out by the application of methods, tactics, skills, leadership, and everything you've got, making sure you're focused, rugged, dogged, and any other valuable abilities. Project management is both a science and an art. It includes scope management, risk management, schedule management, budgeting, and the art of communicating and leadership. There are 5 stages in project management: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. These names speak for themselves, but let's talk about these in a little bit more detail. Initiating is starting off the project, making sure that the project really fulfills a need, and then authorizing that project. Usually the project is authorized by the development of a project charter. That document called a project charter is the foundation stone of project management. This charter could be formally signed and authorized by someone known as a project sponsor or initiator. The charter authorizes the project, and it authorizes the project manager to apply resources to the project. The project manager should lead, guide, and serve the team to successfully carry out the identified work. After that's done, the project manager should begin to identify people who could affect the project or people who would be affected by the project's outcome. These people should be plotted on a power interest grid to identify the levels in which to engage these stakeholders throughout the project. Next, the project manager and the team should develop a plan for how best to deliver the project's main objectives. That takes us to planning the project. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So plan everything under the sun. Some areas in planning could include scheduling, cost management, scope, quality, HR, communications, and risk management, to mention a few. There could be other areas not here on this slide that could be included as part of planning, such as health and safety, for example. Let's talk about these one by one. Scope management is all about defining in clear terms all that needs to be done to deliver the project's deliverable. Scheduling is all about developing a schedule, but first you want to plan how to develop the schedule and then develop a schedule that fits the project. Cost management is next, and this involves determining how much you need to get the project done, making sure it's realistic and making sure you don't pad those costs. Next is quality management, determining the quality requirements and how to make sure that the deliverable is fit for use and conforms to requirements. Next is human resource management, which involves planning how to acquire the team, develop the team, and manage the team. The next thing we plan is communications. What are we going to communicate? Why, how, and when? Next is risk management. This involves planning how to identify risks, analyze risks, and respond to risks. Next is procurement management. This involves planning how to engage in any necessary contracts to procure items or resources to complete the project. Next is stakeholder management, planning how best to engage the identified stakeholders we talked about. Lastly, change management, planning how to manage change to any of those areas we talked about on the project. Lastly, integrate all of those plans into what we call a project management plan. This master plan is a formal plan for driving the project. The project management plan is a formal, documented plan usually approved by management, the sponsor, and customer, that should only change with their approval. Next, we execute the plan. The project management plan should be executed through the implementation of identified actions in the plan. After all is said and done, the project manager should be leading, ensuring communication is transparent, and ensuring that the team is coordinated to deliver incremental project results. Another very important stage is monitoring and controlling, and this should be done throughout the project. The moment the project is initiated, the project manager should be monitoring and controlling the project. It continues all the way to project end. A very important aspect of monitoring and controlling is known as integrated change control. Integrated change control is a process in project management where the project manager funnels all of those change requests that may come up to change one thing or another through a group of people known as the Change Control Board. This means that all change requests should be requested formally in an approved document. Monitoring and controlling also involves that all aspects of the project management plan are working, and if something isn't working, then it needs to be updated or changed. As part of monitoring and controlling, the project manager and the team should seek early feedback from customers, sponsor, and end user. Early and often, feedback should be solicited to ensure the project is on track and to avoid any surprises at the project end. Lastly, closing. This is where we close out the project after all project deliverables have been approved by the customer and all requirements are met. Then the project team should transition the deliverable to the customer. The project team should also take account for what went well and what didn't go so well, and these are documented as lessons learned and used to improve on processes in other projects or the organization as a whole. Typically, project deliverables are transitioned over to the customer's operations team, and the project team moves on to yet another project. I hope you enjoyed that presentation of what is project management. If you would like to attend our online course for the PMP or CAPM exam, visit www.praizion.com, or if you would like to invite us to train your team in project management, contact us at info@praizion.com. All the best in your project management, and thank you for your audience.